Hey everybody, this is Wanda Johnson and welcome to another episode of Fidget Spinner Show and Tell. My sister Moxie has been booted off of the microphone because I've been away and I'm trying to catch up with what she's done. She did like 50 million videos. Okay, so yeah, that bitch. Alright, so anyways, let's jump right into this. This is a Sonder Tri by a maker called Vinon Labs. Let's just take a look at it. It's made of brass, polished brass. My name is Brass, polished brass. About how the reflections, it's scratched. I should have polished it really good before I brought it here. But you know what I do for little fine scratches? Like you can't polish copper or brass or bronze without also in the process leaving these fine little hairline scratches, which is really frustrating. The more you dry or polish it, the more polished it gets, but the more little fine, tiny little irritating hairline scratches it gets. So what I do is I use car polish, like a hard wax car polish, and I'll rub it in and I'll rub it in, I'll let it dry and I'll rub it in. I do that twice, shiny as something that is really shiny, which is what I did with this. I really like I think this was probably the first design I saw. This is kind of an old school design. It's been in that. Would this come out like 2017, maybe? Old school. I didn't buy it new. I bought it from somebody else who bought it from somebody else. But this design was the first with these really luscious curves. Most fidget spinners up to this point in my experience were very blocky. You know, you had like a sheet of metal, you cut out a metal, you polished it up, and it left like these razor sharp kind of edges, and they might, you know, the maker might do some bevels on it to make sure it didn't draw blood or whatever, but this was the first one I saw that had a fully rounded edge, and that really appealed to me. Like even this nubbin right here, fully rounded edge. In that point is rounded. And this symbol here, or not symbol, but their indentations look like a symbol. Looks like a robot. Looks like an old school Cylon. Kill all humans. Kill all humanoids. Wasn't it from Robotron? Kill all humanoids. Anyway, I like that indentation because it just gives the light extra facets to play upon. And look at it. Looks... Oh, I love that. Look at that kaleidoscope action. I tell you, man, I think I'm half crow because I love shiny things. And that gentle hit that it has there, so nice. And when you look at here, perfect. Your thumb knows exactly where to go. If this little notch here went all the way through, I would suck because I can see myself getting stuck on that all the time, and just the tactily the haptic feedback, or it wouldn't be haptic feedback. Anyway, it would just having, you know, not only this little space between the arms, having that gives it some more facets to reflect the light, but then it gives you this nice, solid, smooth part to really get some nice flicks. One of the ways I like doing stuff like this is Like, I found like that bit of bumpage. Like when I'm walking down the hallway at work, I don't necessarily want everybody to be seeing that I'm messing with fidget spinners, right? So like you can just do it on the sly and feel the benefit of that spin. You know, you get the and then get that bumpage. You may the rounder and more curvaceous the fidget spinners, the better the bumpage, in my humble opinion. And look at this button, that's kind of cool. It could have just, the scoop, and I would be happy. But not only did it do a scoop, but it did this action, which is almost like a logo. I have to look it up. I'm not really sure if that's a logo. But also, it just gives it some grip. And also not just grip, but like when you press your fingers to it, it's like a little massage, like it's like a little pressure points or something. It just feels good to press into it. And there's no way it's slipping out. I love me some good polished buttons, but like flat buttons that are polished, zing, they fly right out of your hand. If you're even remotely sweaty or wet or whatever. So let's look inside. It's kind of interesting inside, I think. That's kind of cool. Really a good example of cutting down on the weight in the middle so that the most of the weight is on the outside of a spin, because that'll give you a better spin. This reduces the middle to the absolute minimum. Like, I don't think that could be thinner and still accommodate a bearing. That's pretty sweet. Buttons are kind of standard issue. At one point, Vinon Labs came out with meteorite versions of these buttons. Oh my god. I would have loved to get in on that, but at the time, I just couldn't afford, like $200 for a set of meteorite buttons. Oh, how stupid I was. Little did I know back then that I would scoff at, the idea of not buying something because it was $200, as if I would waste that much money on a toy. Good lord. So anyway, this is really good. Got a really good weight to it. Not too heavy, but it's enough to, like, when you hold it, I think you could probably use that as a weapon. But it's nice to hold. It's got a really good shape. Doesn't cut into you. Really good weight. It's on the heavier side of perfect. Feels like it's maybe 100 grams, which to me is like a sweet spot. My sister likes lighter ones. But there's this. And speaking of lighter ones, like, this is the only one I had forever. And I got into them long after Vinon Labs stopped existing at all. So these stopped being made. But I always wanted a different one. And finally, on the aftermarket, baboon, I finally got the one I really wanted, which was aluminum. Now, I think aluminum gets a bad rap. I think a lot of people think that it's just a junk, it's like a trashy metal, it's always the cheapest version of whatever it is you can find. And, I think there's a reputation that for being like, this is what you do demos in, a prototype, you would do it in aluminum because it's cheaper and it's easier to work with. But I've loved the weight of aluminum, especially when you have something that's big like this. Like, they have something big that is lightweight. It just gives a really good feeling to it. I don't know if I can explain it. Like, a really big fidget spinner that's really fit and really heavy. I mean, there's no real surprises there. But if you have like a really tiny tungsten spinner, that's what I'm talking about, because you grab it and you're like, what in the world? And then this too. It's so light. But then it's so big that it generates like gyroscopic action that hits like above its weight belt or something like that. Plus, when you polish that, this is kind of a satin polished one. but when you mirror polish aluminum, it has such a beautiful shine to it. You know, like stainless steel has a light grayer, silvery kind of shine, but aluminum has like this white sheen to it that's totally different from any other of the grayish metals. It's not grayish, it's not silvery gray, it's like silvery and white. I really like that a lot. Scratches like absolute crazy, just like your other soft metals. But I dig this very much. The weight is great because I can just get some really savage rips. Yeah, so Velini UC, don't know much about the company. Maybe I'll look up the pages in the Wayback Machine, but that is all I have to say about that.
"私たちのソシャルメディアは何ですか?"
私の妹のワンダなんて愚かなの。